Welcome to the 2015 Countdown to the Bammy Awards. Over the next hour, we're going to introduce you to some amazing people who've been nominated. We're also going to take a look back at the Bammys, and finally you'll meet some new members who joined to help take the Academy and the awards to a whole new level. We're excited, so let's get started.
I am Stephen Ritz, founder of Green Bronx Machine. What Green Bronx Machine does is literally grow food in school aligned to Common Core. So we're not only growing healthy kids, we're growing healthy academic performance. We don't expect kids to be farmers, but we want them to read about it, write about it, blog about it, do the science, the math, and along the way, discover what healthy food is. Healthy kids are at the heart of healthy schools, and healthy schools are at the heart of healthy communities. And in a community that is food challenged and has a lot of health issues, we believe we can grow ourselves into new opportunity and academic success. We are 21st century solutionaries right in the middle of the South Bronx, and we are partnering with private schools, public schools, to show people that the Bronx can change attitudes now. And we're out to change America now, because as the health of the South Bronx goes, so goes the health of New York City, New York State, and the nation. 30,000 pounds of vegetables later, grown in the South Bronx. My favorite crop is organically grown citizens, graduates, members of the middle class, kids who are going to college. That's what this is about. We are growing a new economy.
We are so glad to be here with you from New Mexico Christian Children's Home in Portales, New Mexico. I'm Patricia Miller. I'm the Director of Adoptive Homes for Mother's Choice, which is part of New Mexico Christian Children's Home. I joined the Academy of Arts and Sciences because I love education, I love children, and I love serving families more than anything that I can think of, and it's part of my faith calling, and it always has been. And we would like to tell all of the Bammy Award winners, congratulations, Bammy Award winners!
This is incredible. It's about surrounding yourself with people who fuel your passion and celebrate the greatness that is in education, and it is a beautiful event.
Oh, wonderfully said. Thank you so much, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Whoa! Hi there, I'm Mr. Gustafson, principal at Greenwood Elementary School in the Wayzata Public School District. Our district is built upon an exceptional tradition of student success and community partnership. In fact, just over my shoulder is the first Wayzata High School built in 1903. Just as excited as we are about our students' past successes, we're equally excited about their future. It is looking bright. It's looking bright because of their opportunities and limitless potential as we embrace a 21st century pedagogy intent on amplifying our kids' voices and providing them an authentic audience for their learning. Our teachers are doing an amazing job fostering 21st century skills like creativity, communication, critical thinking, collaboration. We're looking forward to partnering with you this year so that we can help each and every student thrive today and excel tomorrow. Make it a great day.
Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Richardson. I'm the Executive Director of the Virginia Society for Technology and Education. I am so excited to be part of the Academy and have the opportunity to help them recognize extraordinary educators who are doing amazing things every day. Congratulations to all the nominees.
Definitely. We don't get recognized. There's so much negative press out there, and we need to celebrate what's happening in our schools and how, you know, we have great people doing amazing things, and we need to be recognized, and we need to tell our story.
Yeah.
My name is Christopher Weiss, and I'm principal of Riverside School in Greenwich, Connecticut. About 2.5 years ago, we started implementing a program here focusing on innovation. We were a one-to-one iPad school, phase 1 in the district that eventually is going one-to-one district-wide this September. And as part of that preparation and starting to use the iPad, so we decided to try some new innovative approaches to our educational practice. Maybe you have thought about developing intrinsic motivation in your students, helping them to really get motivated and excited about their learning. And one way we did that here was with Genius Hour. Maybe you haven't heard of Genius Hour, but it is an activity, or you can see it in lots of schools across the country, and I heard about it through different websites and through Twitter, and it really got me excited about introducing it here at my school. So introduced it to our staff this past September, got them involved, and they got to be excited about producing our first video that we introduced Genius Hour to the kids. And basically the idea was that we would set aside time, initially an hour every other week, for students to do something that they could just work on their own, something that they would just be really excited to be working on. Maybe they wanted to develop a model of something that they thought was really interesting in the world. Maybe they wanted to learn about different types of animals. Maybe they wanted to learn how to code, or learn how to create a business, or learn how to build a mechanical arm, some robotic arm. Maybe it was, as one student developed, a pressure-sensitive pen that when you gripped it, it told you with a little light if you were gripping it too hard to loosen your grip so that you wouldn't get a cramp in your hand. Maybe it was you wanted to develop T-shirts that were dyed with natural vegetable dye instead of artificial dye in colors. That was developed here at the school. Maybe it was a idea of just a project that you had never thought of before, and that's what happened throughout the building. So it was a very exciting year for us as we developed this Genius Hour project K through 5 school-wide, and maybe you can do that at your own school.
As the CEO of ISTE, we care very deeply about what's happening across the country for all of our students. And the Bammy Awards are a very important part of what's happening to recognize the contributions of everybody involved in education. And we're very proud to be a part of that.
I'm really honored to have this award, and I didn't say this on stage, but I want to thank Ed Week for the opportunity that I have to blog for them. And you know, I got my first writing award in 7th grade, and I've been writing ever since, and now I'm teaching 7th and 8th grade writing, and this is just a wonderful memento to take to class and just to show students that they can achieve this if they believe in themselves, and they can do it.
I am Peter DeWitt. I am a former school principal and teacher, and I am now a consultant and author, and I write the Finding Common Ground blog for Education Week. A few years ago, when I was a practicing principal, I happened to write a blog for Finding Common Ground on why teachers should flip their classrooms, because it seemed like it was an idea that was just catching on and it was going to be all the rage. The only problem about it was that I wasn't modeling what I was talking about, and I got a blog challenge by a teacher in North Carolina named Bill Ferreter, whose blog I read quite often. And he wrote, if principals think that the flipped classroom idea is so important, why aren't they flipping their faculty meetings? And I thought, I'm not practicing what I preach. So I started to flip. It didn't go very well at the beginning with my teachers because the timing was not right, and I didn't explain everything as clearly as I should have. But over time, we started co-constructing ideas together in a stakeholder group that we had in our school. And we started looking at things like, how can we provide better feedback to our students? So I started to flip blogs about feedback. And then we started talking about evidence-based observations, because accountability and mandates were pretty big and pretty heavy in New York State, where I was a principal. And I wanted to make sure that my teachers understood where I was coming from when I was doing observations. Even though I had been there for a few years, it was just different because there were point scales tied to the observations this time. So I used a teacher channel video and handed everybody an observation form, and I had sent it out about 3 days before the faculty meeting. And they started writing everything that they saw in the observation, and I realized that we were all on the same page when we were doing observations. So that was great. It built consensus and it brought us together.
Definitely. We don't get recognized. There's so much negative press out there, and we need to celebrate what's happening in our schools and how, we have great people doing amazing things, and we need to be recognized, and we need to tell our story.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Pat Wright, Executive Director of the New Jersey Principals and Supervisors Association. I joined the Academy to collaborate in expanding to the state level the recognition of the good work happening in our nation's schools. It is such a pleasure to celebrate the success of this year's honorees. By doing so, we also recognize all the educators who touch students in such positive and impactful ways. Thank you.
What do the Bammy Awards? Bammy Awards to me are a much needed recognition of what educators are doing, and it's a recognition of educators, and I think more people should be aware of what's going on in education today.
Indeed. And I know that you did a post recently about awards and lists, and what do you say to the people who think that awards and leaving people out, it just has no place in education?
There is no way to make a list of people or to present awards that will make everybody happy. But just the idea that Bammy is recognizing educators, I think, lifts us all up. And it's something that is much needed when educators are being vilified and targeted all over the country today.
Hi, I'm Erin Klein. I'm a mom first, I'm an elementary teacher, and I'm also a national keynote speaker and an author. So I want to share one of my passions with you today, and that's really just giving the classroom back to the kids. You know, there's one teacher in the room, but there's a number of kids. And I think when I became a mom, I really started thinking differently about teaching. So something that really struck me is when I went from being a first grade teacher to becoming a middle school teacher. So I was a first grade teacher my very first year of teaching, and I came to expect kids to ask a lot of curious questions and to really fall in love with learning. But when I went to the middle school, I was shocked at the amount of silence in the room. Of course, the kids were very talkative in the hallway, but it was like as soon as the bell stopped or the music stopped, they just stared at you. And so I started having really rich conversations with my students about, you know, why aren't you asking questions? Why aren't you interested? And they said, Mrs. Klein, you're the only one that really wants us to talk. You're just supposed to give us the information. And, you know, I really thought long and hard about that. And I said, no, like you guys are the ones who are supposed to fuel this conversation and, you know, ignite these conversations and discussion. And so we really started to think deeply about our practice together and creating and developing lessons. So really just giving the classroom back to the students.
I'm so incredibly honored for winning the award tonight. I mean, this is an award, this is an award ceremony and an award process that is about public education and the best of education and the best of educators. And so to win an award like this is a great honor, given that it is and has been my life's work.
I'm more excited this year to see the glamour and the glitz and the fact that we're live on TV this year, so it's terrific.
It is exciting.
Very exciting.
And what do you say to the people who think that, you know, awards have no place and you know, the competition has no place in education? And
I think they do. I think it's more a matter of recognition of the good work that's being done, and there's a lot of good work that's being done. So I think that when we recognize that on the part of so many of the people that are involved in education, it's good. It's good for education, it's good for the people, it's good for morale.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what this is? Stairs. Excellent. Okay. And can you tell me?
The first 5 years of life are enormously important with respect to every domain of development. There's a lot of research on the effects of Sesame Street, and we know that it makes a huge difference in their knowledge of concepts that will help prepare them for school. In American preschoolers who watch Sesame Street, by the time those children get to high school, their grade point averages are about 16% higher.
What that does, it has a cascade effect on children who, over time, will continue to achieve because they will get off to the right start.
No, they're playing the rap. It's the Ed Camp. Yep, come on. It's the Ed Camp. We're about to brainstorm. It's the Ed Camp. Teach us whoever you are. It's the Ed Camp. You can be the star. Okay, cut that all out. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much to the Academy for giving this. This is really for the Ed Campers who have attended over 300 events around the world, and all of the organizers in each of those places who brought free professional development to their teachers, which honors their own expertise.
Ed Campers are edu awesome.
Hello. I'm Julie Davis. I'm the Executive Director of the Ohio Association of Elementary School Administrators. I was humbled and honored to be selected to serve on the Board of Governors for the Academy. I decided to do so because I think it's very important to highlight the positive, wonderful things that are going on in and outside of schools throughout Ohio, as well as the rest of our nation. It's an opportunity to highlight those various educators and other stakeholders, community members, parents, business community, all that are rallying together to support boys and girls throughout our country. Congratulations to our 2015 honorees. It is a pleasure to have a chance to highlight great things going on for children throughout our country. Thank you for that opportunity.
Hi, my name is Chris Lehman. I am the founding principal of Science Leadership Academy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. SLA is an inquiry-driven, project-based school with a focus on modern learning. All of the learning that we do here at SLA is centered around our 5 core values. Inquiry, what are the questions we can ask? Research, how do we find answers to those questions? Collaboration, how do we make those answers deeper, richer, better? Presentation, how do we show what we know? And reflection, how do we step back and learn from what we've done? That iterative process of learning is what creates a really vibrant and really active and empowering education that allows kids to tackle real problems in the world today and craft solutions that are meaningful and relevant and powerful to their lives. So we're a one-to-one laptop school. We have been since our inception. And our sense about technology is really that technology needs to be like oxygen, ubiquitous, necessary, and invisible. It's got to be everywhere. It's got to be part of everything you do. And then you've got to stop talking about it so much. You won't see at SLA, for example, teachers assigning a blog project. They'll assign a project that's about something, and whatever the blog or the Prezi or the social media or the what have you, whatever the tools, the technological tools necessary to accomplish the task are, we're going to do that. What technology allows us to do in really powerful ways, it allows kids to see the world of their learning as far beyond the four walls of the classroom. What it allows them to do is seek out expert voices in the world, craft meaningful artifacts of their own learning, and then share those artifacts with the world in really, really powerful ways, in ways that wasn't really possible before. So now there's no reason to assume that something that a child does only has to be a dialogue between student and teacher. Rather, what kids can do today is create artifacts of learning that are, again, that the dialogue is between student and world.
Being connected means you have people you could lean on, and you could also seek out as reference points. There are people that can help you find information, understand what's going on.
There is no better tool to promote the work of our teachers, our students, and the successes of our schools than social media. There's no better.
I also think that maybe they don't know what they don't know.
Sometimes in order for us to change, we have to leave these comfort zones. And
I was terrified because I wasn't on Facebook.
When I first entered this profession, I met people who hid their best lessons in locked file cabinets. I'm glad to say that I'm now learning from the tweets and the posts of nearly everyone in this audience: librarians, classroom teachers, principals, academics, journalists, and so are my students, and so are my teachers.
Opens doors not only for you, but it opens doors for your students and for the people that you work with. So I think that if you're not a connected educator, you're really missing out.
What would I say to an unconnected colleague? Unlock your file cabinet, share. You and your learners will get way more back than you give from all the smart people in your room and beyond.
There is nothing more important than our learning. And hopefully I'm going to show you ways that you can learn like never before.
Most importantly, I can keep this intact. I can keep my heart intact, which is why I went into teaching in the first place, to make a difference.
Certainly there are quality educators who are not yet connected, but I can't help but wonder, what could they do if they connected and tapped into the global education community to learn and grow?
It's a pleasure to be here with so many great educators at the Bammy Awards, celebrating what it's like to be a connected educator.
Why does School Health Corporation support the Bammy Awards?
We want to celebrate what's right in education today.
We are committed to supporting the health of students,
physically, mentally, and emotionally,
so that all can learn and perform to the best of their abilities.
We salute the Bammys for valuing education and all those who contribute to educating our children.
Our future.
To be with us last year?
No, I wasn't able to come.
Why was it important for you to be here this year, Lee?
Actually, last year it fell on a weekend that I wasn't able to make it, but I can see now that I really should have made an effort, a much bigger effort. This is amazing. You've just got such high caliber educators, some people who are just so passionate, and it's just such a pleasure to be in everybody's presence. I'm really humbled by just being around everybody and learning so much just from the informal conversation. So it's so nice
wonderful.
To be here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Developed countries, 19. Near East and North Africa, 37. Latin America and the Caribbean, 53. Sub-Saharan Africa, 239. Asia and the Pacific, 578. 925 million people are hungry in the world. 16.2 million kids in America struggle with hunger. Every 6 seconds, a child dies of a hunger-related disease.
When I was 4.5 years old, I saw a homeless man on the street. This is when I realized that people needed help. And this is when I decided that I needed to do something about that.
Joshua's Heart Foundation has distributed over 400,000 pounds of food. Since its founding, the Joshua's Heart Foundation has fed more than 8,000 individuals and raised more than $150,000. At the heart of our operations are volunteers who help us sort, cook, pack, and distribute healthy food to those in need. Help us stomp out world hunger.
It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, or how old you are. You can help us make a difference by donating, volunteering, or giving a positive word. Help us to stomp out world hunger.
Good evening. It's my very great pleasure and privilege to have been awarded the Bammy Award by the Academy of Education, Arts and Sciences. I really am delighted to have this, not least because it's a recognition by my fellow professionals in the field of education. You know, a lot of people, I think, know about the work I've been doing through my various TED Talks, and I'm delighted they've had such a big reach. But I've been at this for a bit longer than that. You know, I was at an event recently in the Midwest at a university, and I was having some lunch with the faculty before giving a talk to the students. And one of the faculty members said to me, "You've been at this a long time now, haven't you?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "You know, trying to reform education and promote creativity in schools." I said, "Yes, I have." He said, "What is it now, 8 years?" I said, "How do you mean 8 years?" He said, "Well, you know, since that TED Talk." Well, I said, "Yes, but I was alive before that." I mean, that was an episode along the way, which I was delighted to had such success. But all my professional work has been about promoting the ideas of creativity and innovation, of personal talent in all children and in all teachers. I travel this country a great deal. It's been a great pleasure to me to work with school districts, teachers, schools, professional associations. And there is a tremendous amount of good work happening in schools. There are tremendously talented, committed, vocational educators everywhere. Many of them are labouring under what I feel as they do is an oppressive culture of standardisation, which is antipathetic to the sorts of education I believe in and want to promote here and globally. So it really is a great pleasure for me, a great recognition I feel, to have my work supported in this way by the Academy. And I really do want to send my heartfelt thanks to all of you for having made this possible. I'm really sorry not to be with you today. I'm based, as you may know, in California and simply wasn't able to make this date, but I'm there with you in spirit and certainly with my wholehearted thanks for all of you for having recognized my work in this way. Thank you very much.
You are?
My name is Jackie Lee.
And you are here why?
Well, I'm the finalist for the Preschool Teacher of the Year.
Oh, wonderful.
Very excited.
And did you ever imagine that preschool teachers would be celebrated in this way?
You know what? I did not, but I'm so glad we are.
Excellent.
It's a blessing.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Have fun tonight.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Provenzano. I am a teacher, I am a learner, I'm a father, and an author, and a big nerd. So I want to talk to everyone today about creativity in a little bit of a different light. So I want everyone out there to close your eyes for a second and think about that really important multiple choice test that you took. your favorite one. Exactly. We don't have fond memories of those multiple choice tests. However, if I were to ask you to close your eyes and think about that really great project that you did in your school, or that favorite teacher that brought that project to you, you could do it instantaneously. When we look at creativity, a lot of it is just giving students options. And there are so many different ways to give students options. And as teachers, our focus needs to be on presenting kids with as many possibilities as possible to not only express what they've learned, but to find different and unique ways to express their own voice.
Oh, you're Andrew Coe.
I'm Andrew Coe.
Hello, I know your name. I'm Ray Pica.
Hi,
from
Ray.
BAM.
How are
It's
you?
really nice to meet you.
Nice to be here.
And I know that you made a special request to be here this evening. Why was it important for you to be here?
Well, I think celebrating teachers is an incredible thing, and we at Microsoft also do a very similar type of award through contests and looking at all the incredible educators out there. So, I mean, and also it's close by. So what can you ask for more?
We're very glad that you're here.
I'm glad to be here
Thanks
as
for
well.
joining us, Andrew.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good evening. Thank you for this wonderful honor. It's incredible to be the recipient of a Bammy Award. But in presenting me with this honor, you're really recognizing the children known as the Hobart Shakespeareans. The kids in room 56 know that education is not a race to the top. Instead, these are kids who know that the process and the journey is everything.
One word to describe him?
Hero.
Hero.
He is my hero.
Because?
For what he did for me, in helping me realize my potential and instilling in me a love of learning.
The children in room 56 have a love of language.
I am a Jew! Have not the Jew eyes! Have not the Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions! Fed with the same food, hurt by the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same summer and winter as a Christian is.
The best thing about the Hobart Shakespeareans is that they know what they're saying, you know?
We work very hard.
I know you work hard, and you understand every single word, and that couldn't be said of all actors who do Shakespeare. Really good.
These are children who understand that an immersion into the arts is an essential part of their education.
I'm Tom Murray. After 14 years in a public school, as a teacher, as a principal, and as a tech director, I've learned a lot. Certainly haven't arrived, but I've learned a lot of lessons to be learned. Currently, I serve as the State and District Digital Learning Director for the Alliance for Excellent Education in Washington, D.C. Over the past number of months, I've had the opportunity to work with over 2,000 school administrators. What we've noticed, and what it's really come down to when we take a look at school transformation, is leadership and culture. When I dive into leadership and culture, what I've really noticed is that it really comes down to one word: relationships. To me, relationships are the heart of transformation and truly the heart of education. When I was a first-year teacher, it was the very first time I was about to be observed. My principal came in the room and I was super excited. I was going to teach this technology lesson. It was about the Amish. I was teaching 4th grade in Pennsylvania, and at that point in time, we didn't have wireless, and I set up all the computers around the room, around the laptop, and we had all these wires running all over the place, laptops all over, and I was excited to do this technology lesson. So as I was doing it, and we were about studying the Amish, it actually became the worst lesson I've probably ever taught. It was poor planned. I thought students were just going to be able to type in some long URL. and it was really abysmal. Wasted a lot of time, a lot of instruction. Some behavior increased because students just weren't engaged. So the next day, the principal in the post observation brought me down. And so, Tom, how do you think it went? And I was honest. I kind of hung my head a little bit and shared, I don't think it went so well. I think we wasted time. I could have walked out of his office with my head down, but it was because of the relationship he wanted to build in me with his teacher that things were different. He said to me, Tom, you're right. You did waste some time, and it was poorly planned. You should have done things differently. What if we come back together tomorrow, plan this together tomorrow, and we co-teach it on Friday? Because I believe in you, and I believe you can do this. That was a relationship builder for me.
Open World started as a challenge from a teacher who asked his senior class to create a legacy. In response, seniors Ben, Connor, and Jake led a campaign that brought 2 laptops, internet access, and a library to Sav, a rural school in Nepal. But that summer, monsoon season devastated several of the Sav school. The event inspired Ben and Connor to take action. The two brought Open World to the University of Kansas, where they raised thousands of dollars to help fund the construction of a school in an indigenous community in Nepal. 5 years after a teacher's challenge to leave a legacy, the Open World Cause is a nonprofit that's assisting communities in 3 different countries. What legacy can you start today?
Hello. I would just like to say, on behalf of Sandy Hook Elementary, in honor of the 6 lives lost of educators and the 20 beautiful angels, that I will take this back to them with pride, and this amazing honor and the support that has been showed to us as an elementary school. There truly aren't any words, so thank you very, very much.
It means everything. It's so nice to get dressed up and have some time away with my husband and be recognized for teaching.
Yes, well, thank you for being here. Have fun tonight. What this event means to you, Diane.
Well, I'm very excited about it because it's the first time that educators have ever gotten the attention they deserve, and this is a particular time in our history where educators are not getting the respect they
Well, I wanted to be here because this showcases education in such a beautiful way, and it's so important for us to show that education is just as important as money.
So this event will acknowledge the fact that the people in this room are certainly as important as entertainers, and I think probably much more than entertainers.
My feeling right now, I think Cloud 9, maybe Cloud 10, this is a wonderful evening, and to be honored.
I feel wonderful about the fact that so many public school educators are being honored and receiving the recognition that they deserve.
I actually did teach school. I taught for 10 years. For 9 years I had my own classroom. I subbed for 1, and the next 6 months I spent in rehab.
Hi, I'm Arnie Duncan. I'm so sorry that I can't join you in person tonight. I wish I could be there for this first ever set of Bammy Awards, recognizing...
Sam Sheltane was unable to attend tonight, but we will gladly play a game of... Oh, Eric's accepting on behalf of Sam. Guess we're off script. Well, I was going to say, I'm taking...
Educating children is not an individual sport. You know, it's a team sport.
So, you want to know what I make? I make kids work harder than they ever thought they could. I can make a C+ feel like a Congressional Medal of Honor, and I can make an A- feel like
I recently published a book
When Can You Trust the Experts?, in which I argued that when someone makes a claim that an education program is supported by scientific research, you shouldn't believe that person just because they have a fancy academic pedigree or have won prestigious awards. But now that I've won a prestigious award, I would like to retract that bit of my book. Thanks, Frank.
Hello, I'm Senator Tom Harkin. I sure regret that I can't be with you this evening, but I appreciate this opportunity to say a few words about your distinguished nominees and award winners. Too often, educators in our public schools are the target of unfair criticism and scapegoating. But what separates the critics from their public school targets is this. The critics stand on the outside and throw spitballs, while teachers, school administrators, and other education professionals stand on the inside, courageously confronting the challenges of educating today's young people. I can't thank the Academy enough for saluting the contributions of these everyday heroes and for shining a spotlight on outstanding innovators and leaders in our schools. To each of the nominees and winners, thank you for all that you do, and congratulations for the well-deserved recognition that you are receiving tonight.
So please help me welcome to the stage our fifth and final 3I talk of the evening. Taylor, come on up.
In case you hadn't noticed, it has somehow become uncool to sound like you know what you're talking about. You know? Or believe strongly in what you're, saying. Invisible question marks and parenthetical you knows, and you know what I'm saying, have been attaching themselves to the ends of our sentences, even when those sentences aren't questions. Declarative sentences, so called because they used to declare things to be true, okay, as opposed to other things that are totally, not. They've been infected by this tragically cool and totally hip interrogative tone, as if I'm saying, don't think I'm a nerd just because I've noticed this. This is just word on the street. I have nothing personally invested in my own opinions. I'm just inviting you to join me on the bandwagon of my own uncertainty. What has happened to our conviction? Where are the limbs out on which we once walked? Have they been chopped down with the rest of the rainforest? You know? Or do we have nothing to say? Has society just become so filled with these conflicting feelings of bleh that we've just gotten to the point where we're just totally, just absolutely, just whatever. And so actually our disarticulation-ness is just a clever kind of it's like a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a thing to disguise the fact that we've become the most aggressively inarticulate generation to come along since, a long time ago. So I implore you, I entreat you, and I challenge you to speak with conviction, to say what you believe in a manner that bespeaks the determination with which you believe it. Because contrary to the wisdom of the bumper sticker, it is not enough these days to simply question authority. You have to speak with it, too.
And tonight, the Academy of Education, Arts and Sciences is pleased to give the 2012 Bammy Award for School Maintenance Managers to... I I don't have an envelope.
We don't have the envelope. They probably weren't here to provide it to us. And here it comes.
Ah.
And the Bammy.
It's coming from this side.
Ann W. Mitchell, Daniel Willingham, and Dr. Yvette Johnson. I apologize a zillion times. Let me say this again. Oh, forgive me. Oh my goodness. Dr. Yvette Johnson. Oh my goodness, and I was worried about having a wardrobe malfunction. Say it with me, please. Dr.
Every time I hear about a new ed camp that's being organized, I call Arnie Duncan and say the same exact thing. Why didn't you think of that? What am I paying you for? And that's a true story.
A whole bunch of people were nominated for an award across the country. And there was exactly one elementary teacher selected for that award. And she just happens to be one of our teachers. This year's National Bammy Award winner for the elementary school teachers is our own Mrs. Blazowski. Mrs. Blazowski,